What's cracking, people? Angelic Mayhem here. Welcome to another edition of my online video series Never Played, where I show you a video game that I've never played before. Today's offering is Motocross Madness. This is a brand new game that just came out on Xbox Live, and I thought it was really interesting, so I decided to have a look. So here we are on Xbox Live, and as you can see, it's part of the arcade section. Just came out a couple days ago, so it's still here at the beginning of the new release section. And it is rated currently 4 stars. The game actually cost 800 Xbox points. That is $10 US. And it is for, well, you can have a regular co-op match, which is 1 to 2 players, or you can have a multiplayer match, which has as many as 8 players. And once we get into the game, I'll show you a little bit about how that works. So the game is produced by Bongfish and runs on the Soma engine. So here we are, Motocross Madness. And I skipped through all the demo stuff, and we're going to go right into a race. Now, as you can see, I totally planted into the wall there, but I did not go over the side. If there is one complaint that I have about this game, and let me assure you that there's probably only 1 or 2, it's that it is incredibly forgiving when you bonk into something. I think that, you know, if you are driving down the track doing 70 kilometers an hour and you plow into a fence, some sort of bad thing should happen to you. The controls on this are a little touchy, shall we say. You want to make very small corrections. If you jam the joystick all the way to the left or right, you will go left quite quickly and bang into a rock or a tree or something like that. So you want to avoid that. Now at the beginning here is a little tutorial level. The right trigger is how you make the bike go forward. If you press A, like you just saw me do there, it will do a boost, which will instantly upgrade your speed. B is the drift key, which is how you get through tight corners. You hit B and then press in the direction that you want to go, and you will slide through the corner, which will allow you to make sharper turns than if you were just trying to turn while moving as fast as possible. What you saw me just do there was a trick. That is a basic trick. There are 2 kinds of tricks. There's basic and then there's the advanced tricks. A basic trick is done by hitting X in any direction, forward, back, left, or right. I believe that was a trick that was hitting X and to the left. So the tutorial gives you the basics in terms of having to learn what all the controls do, and then it asks you to do 2 laps to make sure that you are 100% ready for the game and to help you get control of your bike. Now, as you can see, as far as the avatar is concerned, you may find it a little weird that my guy has a fedora, a pair of glasses, and a really thick mustache that was painted on with shoe polish. And that's because the avatars in this game use the same avatar that you are using on your Xbox Live account. And that is the avatar that I use, my Groucho Marx. So, needless to say, it is in fact a little weird if you have an odd character. Yeah, it's quite strange to see Groucho Marx driving on the back of a dirt bike. Now, I have completed the tutorial, and that will give me a handful of things to begin the game. Here's my little victory lap. After every match, you take a victory lap, or if you're disappointed in what you did, for instance, if you didn't, complete any of the mission requirements, then you'll do a little sad dance. Now here are my bonuses, and it gives you a list of the bonuses that there are in the game. There are 21 skills that you can learn, and you learn those by playing the game for X amount of time and accomplishing certain feats. certain distances traveled, things like that. There are 6 bikes that you can unlock, and each of those bikes is customizable. Each bike has a certain set of benefits and downfalls. So some bikes will corner better, some bikes will accelerate better, so on and so forth. However, because you can upgrade each bike, it's much easier to, you can take any bike and make it as good as you need it to be if you can get enough experience points. Now there's also a membership section which will allow you and your friends to join what is essentially a clan and then to compete against each other and other clans for bragging rights, if you will, by doing various tricks. And then these are a list of just people who are in my Xbox Live account who are also playing the game right now. So those are people who you can invite to matches and play with each other. Now here's Fame Star. Fame Star is the portion of the game that allows you to use the avatar that is part of your Xbox Live account. As you use your avatar in various Fame Star games, your avatar actually earns experience points that are Fame Star experience points. So I hope that kind of makes sense. Here are the bikes. As you can see, each bike has a different look about it, and you can actually change the look of the bike as part of the custom upgrade system. Although, at least as far as the demo is concerned, when it comes to bike upgrades, the design, there's only like 1 or 2 for each bike. Now I suspect that's because DLC will at some point add bonus stuff to what you can make your bike look like. Now here we're going to get into the sandbox. This is the first mode that I played. The other mode is actually a race mode where you race against computer opponents, but in this case we're going to take a look at the sandbox. There are 3 levels in Iceland, 3 levels in Australia, and 3 levels in Egypt. Each level is unique. It's a giant sandbox, and you can spend your time going anywhere that you want in the sandbox and performing various tricks and experiments to see whether you can defy the laws of physics. So this is one of the Egyptian levels. And as you can see, there are a whole mess of various obstacles slash tricks that you can perform that are already set up for you. And then of course there are other areas which are basically sand dunes that present their own type of obstacle, in that you can fly off of them and attempt to pick up coins and things like that. Now you'll also see that there's water in these levels, and water is a big problem. Obviously you don't want to send your motorbike into water, so you want to try to avoid that whenever possible, and as you can see, that was the first thing that I went for. So it takes a little bit to get to know what the... by the way, I'm going to crash many times. It turns out that I am not the motorbiker that I used to be. Gone are the days when I crushed people at Excite Bike. I am now just a lowly rookie when it comes to... I don't see, that's a truck. A lowly rookie when it comes to riding a motorbike. So there's all kinds of different things. Now, as you can see, I totally planted right into that thing, but it didn't kill me off, which was very nice of them. But it's probably a little bit more forgiving than it should be in terms of physics. But what's really neat about this game, well, there's a couple things that are really neat about this game. One thing is that as you are riding along, you are actually making tracks in the sand. And the same is true when you get onto the track. As you ride on the track, you will actually... Now, you should totally be able to go through that fence, but that's fine. But as you're riding on the track, you actually make, tracks in the sand. And we're in the water again. So when you come back to that area, you'll see your tracks. And so I thought that that was a really cool feature. And keep an eye out for that, because I do circle back in certain places to show you different things. I thought I could hop off that rock. It turns out I couldn't. As you can see, the crash cam is actually quite funny and very enjoyable. Now, because this is sand, as you're riding on it, your rear actually slips out from behind you. So that's a really realistic way of, you know, doing the game. So you can't just ride on it as if it were hard dirt. It actually does slip and move. So even though I criticize this game for being exceptionally forgiving when it comes to running into things, the physics here are actually quite good. Now the object of sandbox mode, I mean, obviously is to have fun and to, you know, perform various tricks, but you are looking for specifically coins and skulls. Now here is a coin, and as you can see floating up there is a skull. Had I hit this dune and going as fast as I could, I probably could have launched myself off and picked up that skull. But as you can see, picking up even a coin can be very difficult because of the nature of the shifting sands. So this whole thing is quite a challenge in trying to maintain control of your bike and get to the things that you need to get. I have no idea. On the left there's like a lighthouse. I have no idea how to get out to that lighthouse. I tried on several occasions, and it just would not work for me. Although it is possible that it's just a piece of graphic that I'm not actually supposed to get to. Oh, I thought I could get on there. Now there is a track in this area, but don't be fooled, because it's a sandbox, the track literally has nothing to do with anything. It just is a great way to pick up speed very quickly, and then you go back into the sand. Alright, now here's an example of how, because of the fact that the camera is stuck in a very specific location during the crash cams, that you're not able to actually see yourself. So that is one of the other criticisms that I have. They should have had that camera on, you know, just allowed you to rotate it or whatever, so that you could flip around that wall and see yourself. What happens is after you die, you do like a little sad dance, and, you know, because you're all depressed. And nope, can't go up there. One of the big things is wheelies. The game actually keeps track of what your longest wheelie is, and so by pulling back on the stick while you're riding, you can bring up your front end. But obviously, if you hit something like a rock or something like that, you can be thrown off your bike. And also, if you go back too far, you'll flip out and end up dead. Well, not dead, but crashed. So that's the end of sandbox mode. Now we're going to go into a race. Now this is more like a traditional race, where you're just basically going around the track. But there is some interesting features about the track. For instance, there are a lot of forks in the road where you can decide, do I want to go left and do I want to go right? If you take the road, let's say, to the right, it might be significantly easy, but there's no bonuses there. There's no coins, there's no skulls, there's no nothing. If you take the road on the left, it's much more difficult and full of water and things like that, but you get all the bonuses and the cash from picking up the coins and the skulls and all the other stuff. Now, the last criticism that I'll levy at this game is that you can see that all of the people, the NPCs that you are riding against. Look at that, off the lights. All of the NPCs stay exactly the same distance away from each other. They don't vie for control or attempt to take position over one another. So they're kind of just here, and they are there as more of a metric to gauge how well you do than they are as actual competition. So I don't think that that's a good thing. I think that they should actually be, like out for blood and trying to, fight to win with not only you, but each other. Now there's all kinds of boosts and huge jumps, and if you hit the jumps too hard and go too far, you can actually wipe out, like you saw there. While you're in the air, you can usually pull off a trick or two. Some tricks are better than others in terms of points and experience earned. There's an instance of a split in the road where I took the one on the left, but it was too difficult for me to stay on, so I actually ended up falling off the cliff and ending up back on the regular path. I really enjoy the graphics in this game. I think that they are well put together. I think that from a concept standpoint, this game is very simple. As you can see, as you pass your competition, you actually kind of, you don't flip them off, but you give them, you know, like a little sign that, you know, haha, I'm passing you, which I think is funny. Now, alright, so here's one last criticism, is that this water is too easy to get through. As you can see, it barely slows you down. And I think that the game would be a lot better if you really kind of got bogged down a little bit and then had to re-accelerate. I think that would make the game more dynamic and interesting. But, you know, I get it. Yeah, more or less, this game is not for kids, but it needs to also be for kids so that they can play it, and I think maybe they might have problems with that, so. Oh, I missed the boost. Boost just adds a, the boost markers add to the chain at the bottom of the screen, which will then allow you to boost more as you go along. So you do want to pick those up whenever you get the chance, because your boost will run out if you use too much of it. Now, with that being said, make sure you save a little bit of your boost for the end of the race so that if, for instance, you were in multiplayer and you were racing, you would want to make sure that at the very end you can blast, you know, with your boost and try and cross the finish line before your opponent. Yeah, visually speaking, I think this game looks great. And it moves really fast, it doesn't bog out, or, you know, there's no lag or anything like that, so I think that it's a very good title, especially for Xbox Arcade. Oh, alright, so a body varial, that was a Y trick. So when you press X and you hit left, right, up or down, you do like very minimal tricks that, you know, don't give you a lot of experience. But once you unlock it, which I did at the end of the sandbox mode, you can use Y to do amazing tricks. Boost. And once you do those amazing tricks, then you can gain all kinds of experience very quickly. So that's a great opportunity to, you know, to advance your character as fast as possible. So after you finish the race, you actually get to watch the times come in. This game is very Excitebike. I think it is a neat little game to have. If you hit X, you will immediately restart the race. Or if you hit start, you'll exit the race, and then you'll get credit for all of the stuff that, you know. So if you come in 8th place and you didn't enjoy that, then you can try again. And now I do my celebratory dance, which is a whole lot of fun. Blinded myself with sand. Now, because I won the race, I received 1,250, and then also, along the way, I got coins. So you get cash for all that. Then there's the experience of winning the race, which the gold medal gives you 1,000, so that's a fantastic way to boost yourself at the beginning, at least. And then, of course, you know, you get experience for all the tricks and stuff that you throw out there. So Trick Session and Rivals were both locked because it was a demo. I'm not entirely sure what Rivals is, but Trick Session is basically you get a series of ramps and you get to do as many tricks as you possibly can over and over again. Here I take you into the upgrade screen, and as you can see, as you press right on the thumbstick, it will upgrade the upgrades, and then on the right hand side you can see where, like, for instance, handling goes up as you get bigger and better upgrades. Now you can't jump ahead, you do have to buy them in series, so you have to buy the $600 one first, and the next one's $800, and one after that is even more. So you're buying them as, you know, in a progression. Now, as you can see, there's only 2 skins for this bike. One is a simple flame, and then the other one is a more, what I would assume is a girly type of skin. Now, other bikes come with their own skins, of course, so, you know, they might have, you know, a different set of bonus skins. But that's the one for this bike. And that's going to be the end of the game. Well, I would like to thank you all for joining me on this edition of Never Played. I think Motocross Madness is a very good game, and I would encourage each of you to try the demo and consider it. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed this video, please click the like button below or the subscribe button if you would like to see more videos like this in the future. I'm Angelic Mayhem, and I'll see you next time.